I haven't seen you in like 100. You work here? What?
Some moments can't be scripted. They just happen raw, real, and unforgettable. From childhood friends appearing out of nowhere to teachers who changed lives reappearing on live TV, these reunions remind us that fame fades, but memories never do. 1. Charlie Hunnam's surprise on Graham Norton. When Charlie Hunnam sat down on the Graham Norton Show, he thought it would just be another interview. But when Graham introduced a special guest, Charlie froze. It wasn't a co-star or a fan, it was his high school friend, the one who once borrowed his bike and never returned it.
Sebastian Lippiat! That's the one, man! I didn't know!
The audience burst into laughter, but behind that grin was a rush of teenage nostalgia. Two old friends, now worlds apart, connected again through a simple twist of fate. It wasn't Hollywood, it was just two boys from Newcastle remembering where it all began. 2. Billie Eilish and her childhood friend in the crowd. At one of her sold-out shows, Billie Eilish scanned the crowd. Thousands of lights, screaming fans, and then stopped. Her eyes widened. Right there in the sea of faces.
Yeah, you. This has been to my shows since I started doing shows.
Was her childhood best friend from elementary school. Her voice cracked mid-sentence as she laughed, shocked. Fame had carried her across continents, but in that 1 second, she was just Billie again, the kid who used to make home videos and dream of this moment. The crowd didn't even know why she was emotional, but the tears said it all. 3. Hugh Jackman and his old student. During a press event, Hugh Jackman met a journalist who nervously approached him. What Hugh didn't realize was that this man wasn't just a journalist.
You guys don't know that, but this man here, yes, I used to teach him at Uppingham School in London.
He was one of his students from the days when Hugh worked as a PE teacher in Australia. The man smiled and said, "You taught me how to run laps." Hugh froze, then laughed in disbelief. He gave him a hug and said, "And now you're interviewing me?" The full circle moment captured the beauty of time. The student had grown, and the teacher had become a superhero. 4. Ian Wright and his beloved teacher, Mr. Pigden. For years, Ian Wright, Arsenal legend, spoke about one man who changed his life, his school teacher, Mr. Pigden. On a BBC show, the producers surprised him. As Ian spoke about his gratitude, they quietly brought Mr. Pigden onto the stage. When Ian turned and saw him, he broke down completely.
Long time no see.
Mr. Pigden. You're alive.
I'm alive, he says.
The tough football star, the goal machine, just melted into tears. Mr. Pigden had once told him he was destined for greatness, and decades later, that prophecy stood true. 5. Adele and her English teacher. During her live concert special, Adele was asked who inspired her most. Without hesitation, she said, "My English teacher, Miss McDonald." The audience applauded, but then the host smiled and said, "Well, she's here tonight."
Left when I was in year 8.
Yeah, because it's odd, actually, funny enough.
Is she McDonald here?
Hi, how are you? Oh, you look exactly the same. You look exactly the same.
Adele turned, saw her former teacher, and instantly burst into tears. She hugged her tightly, unable to speak. It wasn't about celebrities anymore. It was a girl meeting the woman who first told her she had a voice worth listening to. 6. Ed Sheeran's Red Chair Reunion. On the Graham Norton Show, Ed Sheeran watched a guest flip back in the famous red chair until he recognized the face.
Hello, yeah.
Me?
That's the one.
What the Do you know? He was my best mate growing up.
"Wait," Ed said, "is that my childhood friend?" The guest turned around, and yes, it was his old buddy from school. The room erupted with laughter as Ed got up, hugged him, and reminisced about writing songs in their teenage bedrooms. For Ed, the biggest stage in the world suddenly felt like home again. 7. Tyrese Gibson and the teacher who raised him. When Tyrese was invited to a talk show, he thought it was to promote his music. But halfway through, the host mentioned a name that made him pause: Reggie Andrews, the high school teacher who believed in him when no one else did. Moments later, he walked in. Tyrese stood frozen, then broke down sobbing. "You saved me," he said.
Oh my God.
He just hit my son.
Mr. A!
For someone who grew up with nothing, seeing the person who gave him hope was like reliving his own origin story. 8. Rihanna and her PE teacher. Rihanna was back in Barbados for an award ceremony when she spotted a familiar face in the crowd, her old PE teacher, Mr. Harford. She immediately stopped mid-speech, jumped off stage, and gave him a hug. "This man used to push me to never give up," she said. The teacher beamed with pride. The girl who once wore her school uniform now stood before him as a global icon, and yet she spoke to him with the same respect she had as a child. 9. Steve Harvey and the couple who saved him. Steve Harvey once shared a story that broke millions of hearts. Years before fame, he was broke, living out of his car, calling into comedy clubs from payphones. Then one day, a couple offered him a place to stay and some food. Decades later, Steve is surprised
Becky?
Hi, Steve.
Jeez.
that the same couple live on TV. The moment they appeared, he wept uncontrollably. "You saved my life," he said. That day, the audience didn't see a celebrity. They saw a man who never forgot the hands that lifted him up. 10. Kid Cudi's school return. Kid Cudi returned to his old high school, standing in the same halls where he once got detention. Students cheered, teachers cried, and among them was his old classmate.
Come give me a hug. Come up here.
The one who used to share headphones and write rap lyrics with him. They laughed about those days, the dreams, the scribbles, the belief that one day it would all matter. It wasn't a performance. It was a reminder that some friendships never really fade. They just pause until life loops back. 11. Eminem, visiting his old workplace. Eminem's journey from dishwasher to rap legend is one of grit and grind. Years after fame, he quietly returned to the restaurant where he used to work, walking through the same back door he once mopped.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you, man.
The staff couldn't believe it. He smiled, pointed to the corner and said, "That's where I wrote my first rhymes." It wasn't about money or fame. It was about honoring the place that taught him hustle before the world learned his name. 12. Michael B. Jordan and his old classmate. At a red carpet interview for Creed 3, Michael B. Jordan spotted a familiar face, a reporter who used to be in his high school. Years ago, she teased him for bringing headshots to class. When she approached him for an interview, he smiled and said,
In Newark, okay?
Corny kid, right?
No.
"The corny kid, right?" The moment went viral. It wasn't bitterness, it was growth. He had turned those laughs into motivation, and now the world was applauding the same man they once mocked. 13. Amber Rose and her childhood friend. In a candid moment on a talk show, Amber Rose was reunited with her best friend from childhood, someone she hadn't seen in years. They talked about growing up in tough neighborhoods, sharing food, and dreaming of better days.
Tina? Hi, babe. Oh my God. How are you? Hug me, babe.
Amber's eyes watered as her friend said, "You never changed." For all the headlines and fame, the real Amber, the loyal, protective friend, was still there. That moment wasn't viral for the glitz. It was viral for its truth. In a world obsessed with fame, these moments cut through the noise. They remind us that before the red carpets, before the spotlight, every celebrity was just someone's friend, student, or neighbor. Because no matter how far you go, your past always finds a way to say hello again. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because we've got more unbelievable real moments coming your way.